Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Caroline and today we are going to talk about the difference between IBS and IBD. Before we get started, I'm still doing research on what the chronic illness community needs when it comes to medical gaslighting. And I really need your help to figure out what you need in order to handle and avoid medical gaslighting. And there are two ways you can help me do this. You can help me by letting me do an interview with you that will last 30 to 60 minutes. I have a booking site where you can book this interview, and I'll of course put that in the description down below. I will be asking you questions about your experience with medical gaslighting. The other way you can help me is to fill out a questionnaire also about your experience with medical gaslighting. This is really great if you are lacking energy or time, and I will of course put a questionnaire link in the description. And I want to say, please help me. I really need your help. I would just appreciate it so much. Thank you to all of you who have already filled out the questionnaire and done interviews with me. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I hope more will join. So let's get started. A few weeks back, I made a video that was called "Have They Found the Cure for IBD?" I will put a link up here for that video. And afterwards, I got a few DMs on my Instagram where people asked me what the difference between IBS and IBD is. So I thought I would do a video explaining the difference. So IBS stands for Irritable Bowel Syndrome. The fancy way to explain it is that it is a disturbance in the function of the bowel as a transport organ. I know, that sounds wow. But basically there's a problem with the movement of the bowel, transporting through the bowel. This can cause you to feel bloated. It can cause abdominal pains, diarrhea, constipation, etc., etc. Maybe you know it if you already have IBS. And there's really no cause. They don't know why people get it. Some people get IBS and then 10 years later it doesn't seem to be a problem anymore. Nobody really understands. There's no cure, there's no treatment really, other than people with IBS is typically hypersensitive towards certain foods, for example, as gluten, dairy, maybe even like something like onions. It's very individual. So the only thing you can really do is to avoid the foods that you know trigger your IBS, and make sure to get exercise because that helps with the movement of the bowel, and drink plenty of water. All those normal advice you always get no matter what's wrong with you. That's kind of the only way to go. Officially speaking, I don't have IBS myself. Maybe some of you have experience with alternative treatments that have worked for you. You can share them in the comments to help other people out if you want to. Then there is IBD, and IBD stands for inflammatory bowel disease. IBD is an autoimmune disease, and there are two types. There is Crohn's and colitis. And they are very similar, Crohn's and colitis, but slightly different as well. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. But they put them in the same category as IBD. Now, this is an autoimmune disease, and that means the immune system is attacking the bowel for no reason. It basically thinks there is something wrong in the bowel and therefore attacks. And then there is really nothing wrong, but it just keeps attacking. My Crohn's doctor used to say to me that it's because you have a very unintelligent immune system, Caroline. Okay then. The immune system keeps attacking, and this creates inflammation in the bowel. Now, inflammation is a very normal response from the immune system when there is damage to cells or whatever. It doesn't matter if you have the flu or if you cut your finger or whatever. When the immune system attacks, it creates inflammation. But the problem is that the immune system keeps attacking the bowel even though there's nothing wrong. It doesn't stop. It doesn't really register that, oh, there's nothing wrong, I should stop doing it. It just keeps attacking, and therefore creates this chronic inflammation in the bowel. And that can do damage to the bowel. It can also, well, it causes very much stomach flu-like symptoms, just a billion times worse. Trust me, a billion times worse. The cause of IBD is also unknown, but it can be treated. It can't be cured, but it can be treated with immune suppressive medicines. So that's basically the difference. And I thought I would go over the difference in symptoms, so you can get a better idea of what the difference actually is. And I made a chart, and I've divided the chart into bowel symptoms and then IBS, Crohn's, and colitis. And I have chosen to say Crohn's and colitis and not just IBD because there are slightly differences in Crohn's and colitis, and you will see that in a little bit. The first symptom is alternating diarrhea and constipation. This occurs mostly with people with IBS and colitis. The following symptoms occurs with both IBS, Crohn's, and colitis, and this is abdominal pain, bloating, slime from rectum, and continuously diarrhea. The following two symptoms is only for Crohn's and colitis, and this is reduced appetite and bleeding from rectum. Now the next two symptoms is actually only for Crohn's disease, and we have fistulas, and I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly in English, fistulas, but it's basically the connection between a part of the rectum where there has been inflammation and then a part of the skin around the rectum. I have never had something like that, but I have heard that it is incredibly painful, so thank God I haven't tried that. And then another symptom that occurs with Crohn's is constriction. Both people with IBS, Crohn's, and colitis can experience worsening of symptoms during menstruation. The last symptoms only occur with Crohn's and colitis, and that is anemia, growth and development problems in children, eye irritation or eye infections, fever, skin irritation, and weight loss. So as you could see in my chart, there are differences between IBS and IBD. There are even differences between Crohn's and colitis. So it's not the same thing, but they do have a few of the same symptoms. And both can be incredibly annoying to live with, let's face it. So I hope that made sense. I hope that cleared up some things. If you have any questions, you're welcome to ask in the comments down below. And also don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video, turn on notifications, go follow me on my Instagram, that's also called The Art of Being Ill. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time right here on my channel, The Art of Being Ill.